What's up, y'all? That is a great old reel called The Wind That Shakes the Barley, and it was the first reel that I ever learned. If you're new here, my name's Sean. I play Irish music on flute and tin whistle, and if you like that sort of thing, give me the thumbs up, give me the subscribe, and we'll be best friends. We are going to break this tune down nice and slowly, starting with the basic melody, and then we'll come back and add in some ornamentation, some of the other fun stuff, but here we go again, nice and easy. 3, 4. I know it probably seems like a lot, but that is in fact the entirety of the A part. That just repeats. It's a short reel, so there's not really a whole lot to get. That's the whole thing. I'll play it again still at a mellow tempo like that. We'll play it back to back like you would in context. So here we go again. 3, 4. Again, that's the whole thing. That's the entirety of the A part. The B part is slightly more complicated in that the first half and the second half are a bit different. Not a lot different, but a little bit. It also spends a bunch of time in that second octave, so be mindful of your whistle's volume and your hearing and that of those around you. Here we go. 3, 4. That's the first half, and the first half of the second half of the B part repeats the first half of the first half. Let's try that again. The first line of the second half is the same as the first line of the first half, so it's just the end bit that's a little bit different. Here we go with that second half now. 3, 4. So you can see it's just that very end that jumps up into that high B, a little bit different from the beginning of it. So let's play the whole B part all together, still same tempo. Here we go. 3, 4. Hopefully you got through that all right. Again, be mindful of the shrill parts of the whistle there, but let's play the whole tune at a kind of, still mellow tempo. We'll play A, A, B, B all the way through and see how much you can get. 2, 3, 4. Hopefully you had some success with that. Go back and make sure that you've got those notes nice and clean, the octave jumps, all that good stuff. Then we'll jump in with the ornaments. A couple of rolls just to kick things off, I think works pretty well. Hopefully as you're going through these tunes, you're starting to recognize that any of those long held notes might be an option for a roll of some kind or another, and I think that works pretty well in this tune. And I wouldn't necessarily do it every time. I think having the long-held notes works sometimes, but it's a nice way to mix it up. Big cut when I jump to that highest note in the phrase there. In this case, it's a second octave G. That's the highest one thus far. When you get into that second octave, you're going to want to be confident and hit those cleanly and with enough breath support to make sure that they sound cleanly. Take that nice and slow because it's easy to break those notes. So. You could also do a slide in place of a roll. And in fact, I would definitely work those in and substitute that as another possibility there too. By the way, if you were interested in a deeper dive on this tune, I've got a video over my Patreon that covers a lot more advanced ornamentation and variation flute stuff and things like that. If you're so inclined, feel free to check that out. But in the meantime, let's carry on with the B part. This B part seems to me to be tailor-made for rolls. There's just really good spots in the bottom hand that you can hit pretty cleanly, hopefully. And then I finish it up with a short roll. Maybe a bit of a slide into that A, because again, highest note in the phrase, that'll be the highest point thus far. Could cut that, that's a bit more of a risk. Slide is just a little bit safer. Slides again there, hitting that very top B, that's definitely going to be the highest note in this tune. You could also cut that as well, but same sort of a risk there that you might break it. And it's kind of nice, I think, to have it be a little bit more subtle, because it's going to be pretty loud and shrill as it is. When you come back around to finish that tune, I like sliding that A, just a bit more, again, subtle, and I think it's a kind of a cool way to turn that tune around. So that's what I do with this one. Let me know what y'all think. If there's any other good tunes you want to hear, I'm happy to take a run at them. I'm kind of going back through the list of the beginner tunes and seeing which ones I haven't covered. So this was one that showed up on that list, and I'm glad to take a look at it again. So let me know what y'all think. I'll see y'all in the next one. Cheers.